Well, hey, this is Josh Nelson and
Chris Johnstone.
Thanks for joining us on this third video. We're really helping you guys unpack this concept of the agency concierge and kind of figuring out to solve one of the biggest challenges we all face, which is we generate leads through whatever mechanism, websites, SEO, pay-per-click, but the clients don't convert, they look at us, they're frustrated, and we wind up with churn and dissatisfied clients.
That's right.
Right? And so in the last couple of videos, in case you missed it, I'm gonna kind of hit the cliff notes here. We talked about this gap between what we do as agencies, which is generating leads, and the business owner not converting those leads into sales. And this whole idea of the concierge, putting somebody that's an appointment setter on your team, making those calls, following up with those opportunities and converting them. And in Chris's world, that turned into a massive improvement in retention and also an additional profitable stream of revenue. Generated over $1 million by adding this concierge component to his business. And it wasn't just revenue, it was profitable revenue with an over $800,000 in profitability over about a 23-month span of time and rolling this out in the mortgage space. Now, in the second video, we asked Chris to unpack the economics of this. Because it's like, okay, conceptually that makes sense, but like, how will we pay the people? How will we get them in place? How does that actually make money? And he walked us through the concierge profit plan, really walking through the key performance indicators, right? Kind of like how many calls, how much do you pay? How does that work? If you want more details on that, go back and check it out. And we unpacked this idea of the opportunity amplifier in that it's not just about calling the leads and following up with the leads, it's also calling their past customer base and getting referrals, getting 5-star reviews, and planting new JV or referral opportunities in their business. And what Chris found was that's really where the amplification happened, right? They were getting good results by following up with leads, but it was following up those referral partners, following up with that customer base that transformed the results for his clients.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's kind of bringing you up to speed. On today's video, what we want to do is really get into the nitty-gritty. Because a lot of questions came back and it kind of open-looped in my mind as well. Okay, well, what tools will we need in order to run this? How will we hire the people? How will we train them? What KPIs? Like, there's much more to it in terms of actually getting it done. So the promise on this video is Chris is going to walk you through actually how to put this in place and bolt it into your business.
No pressure.
No pressure. So let's dive into it.
That's awesome. And thank you so much for all of the kind words and the comments and the questions. And us being able to interact in the comment section has been absolutely phenomenal. So thank you for that. Any questions that you have about this video, make sure you post them below. And if you found this video helpful, make sure you share it with other agency owners. So let's go through the agency concierge hiring plan. And this is how to take what you've learned thus far in the video series and actually get it working in your business. How do you hire a concierge? So we have a process that we've systemized in our business. And this is through, at this point, we've hired over 50 people. Obviously, not all of them have worked out. And we've made a lot of mistakes along the way. But it's every time we do it, our team recaps and we make our systems better, we make our processes better, and it has created this flow. So the first thing that you as an agency owner need to take into account is what business model you're actually going to run. How are you going to launch the concierge in your business? Are you going to use it to create more profitability in your business by having the concierge call your leads, book your sales appointments, do your follow-up on your sales presentations, and make more money that way? Again, I gave away my actual numbers in my agency, and you saw we're making more sales from executive concierges following up on people that we've already talked to than we are on closing on the actual sales presentation itself. So on your model, when you launch the concierge, are you going to focus entirely on your business and just growing your business? Or are you going to take this as a service, provide it to your clients, and grow their business exponentially as a result of hiring the concierge? Now, you can do both. That's totally okay. But there's two large opportunities that you're unpacking here and that you have access to by putting the agency concierge in place. And we need to choose what we're doing, because if we try and just do it all without a plan, you're not going to end up anywhere specific. So we need to set our goals at this point and then step by step walk towards those goals together. Now the next thing is our superstar attraction job ad. And that job ad is designed so that you are actually hiring somebody who's already an expert at booking appointments. We discovered in video number 1 that we don't just want to put anybody on the phone. A concierge is somebody who's actually built a career out of booking sales appointments. That's what helps to generate the results. So there is a specific type of job ad that you run out there in order to attract those people. You call them out, and then there's an actual process that you want to walk them through, which we call our qualified candidate questionnaire. Because when you put this out in the right market and on the right job sites, so we use Indeed, but there are other tools out there that can really amplify the number of people that you have. And that's really what you want. When you're interviewing people, you want as many candidates as possible to go through. And I want to be super clear here. We are hiring North American-based dialers. And there's a number of different reasons for that. The first is culturally they fit with the people that we're going to be calling. And that's incredibly important to your customer. One of the greatest objections that you're going to get when you step into the sales seat in selling this product out there is, I don't want people from the Philippines calling my past customers. I don't want people from the Philippines calling my leads because they're worried about the accents and all of those things.
Yep.
When you can confidently say, we hire North American people in order to generate these results, you close more sales, but it also generates a better result. The other reason why we have tried outsourcing, we've tried a lot of outsourcing and always came back to North America, because the other thing that we discovered is that culturally there's a different work ethic that happens. And I'm not saying anything bad about outsourcing, but what I'm saying is that we had on many occasions people that would just stop showing up for work, and we would get no emails from them. They would just disappear off into the ether. And when we hire North American people, that has yet to happen to us ever. So they show up on time, they do the actual job, and you know that you've got that person long term. Because one of the hardest things about having a concierge is getting somebody, you get them up to speed, they're generating results, you're happy, the client's happy, and then all of a sudden they're just gone. And you've got to scramble to try and fill that role in the business. You don't have to do that nearly as often, and for us, never, when we're hiring people from North America. At least we get the heads up. And then the third thing is, there truly is, when you're calling out to past customers, there's just a natural flow between people that are from an area. Like in Florida, there's just a way that Floridians speak to Floridians. And there is in New York a specific way that New Yorkers speak to New Yorkers, right? And that generates a bond. It generates better results for your client. And that's what this is all about, better results. So you want to make sure that when you're going through the qualified candidate questionnaire, that you're doing that with North American people and that you're getting those things out of the way up front. So that questionnaire goes out to everybody who responds to the job ad. It automatically goes out, so you don't have to waste any of your time. It's an automatic process that happens. And then we have our email time saver. So when people respond back and say, yes, I'm interested in the job, and they follow the first step, there's another automatic email that goes out that asks them to go through a test. And that test tells us whether or not they can actually do the job. And we actually get a sound clip and a video clip of what that person looks like and sounds like. Again, we've invested zero time, and this is all an automated system for when these people are applying, so that at the end, you end up saving a ton of your time, but you have a good candidate that comes through. Then we have our perfect interview process. We have distilled this down to 21 questions. There are 21 questions you want to ask somebody when you get them on the Zoom call to tell whether or not they're a quality candidate, whether or not they can do the job for you. The things that you're looking for are the ability to actually generate a result for your clients. And there's different sections of things that people need to be able to do in order to generate that. Then the ultimate motivator comp plan. This has been huge for us. And I'll tell you a little bit of a funny story. So what we ended up doing, we went through 8 different compensation models. Wow. So we tried to comp them on deals that were done on the back end. We tried to comp them only on appointments that showed up. We tried just straight wage and salary. We tried just straight commission. We tried all of these different things. And ultimately, I got so frustrated with it, I just called an all-team meeting. I got everybody on a Zoom call, and I was like, why don't you tell me what would be the absolute best offer where you could not say no and you would want to work for this company? And our concierge agents came together and actually put together that motivation and comp plan for us. And now we have the ability to do that. Now, I want you to get great value from this presentation. So I'll share with you that we are paying them a base salary and then we are paying them a bonus per appointment that they are booking. Now, there's an interesting way that we put that together that keeps them motivated, but when you're compensating people at the level that they expect, they show up to work, they're happy, they're motivated, and they're actually there to generate results. One aside that I'd like to add about our agency, and one of the benefits that we haven't really touched on at this point, is my staff are happier. My staff are getting better results because when we transitioned from just offering SEO and pay-per-click on Facebook and pay-per-click on Google and all of those things, and we had that churn that was happening in the business, that's hard on our employees as well. And now that we're retaining our customers for longer, we're getting better feedback, we're getting referrals, we're getting our own 5-star reviews online, the morale within the company is even better. And that also ties into the comp plan. Now, the high performance hiring contract, this is actually a really important key point for you. And what you want to do when you're hiring your people is outline right at the get-go what is acceptable and what is not acceptable from a performance standpoint, and it's written into a contract and they sign it and they agree to it. Now, there's a number of reasons why this is very important, and again, this is a discovery over time for us. First off, when they know what the accountability is, if they know they can't do the job, they're not going to show up for the job, they're not going to take the job, which saves us a bunch of time and hassle, right? The other thing is that a concierge agent that comes in that says, I book 2 appointments a day, that concierge will always book 2 appointments a day. If a concierge comes in and says, I book 10 appointments a day, they will always book 10 appointments a day. The leads can be the exact same. It's the mindset of the concierge. So what we're doing is we're making sure that that person understands that every single day they're going to be required to book anywhere between 5 and 10 appointments a day. And when they sign that performance contract, they understand at the end of every day when they're filling out their scorecard, that's what they signed up to do, and that is the result that they're going to generate. So it generates a higher quality person, but it also generates somebody who doesn't just come in and then sandbag because they're just like, okay, I got the job, I can kind of cool my jets right now. It keeps them motivated moving forward every single day. And that's where our daily rocks and our performance plan comes in. Every single day, your team needs to be accountable to you and the results that they generate. So we have a scorecard, they post it every single day. And that scorecard makes sure they're making their 100 to 150 calls a day. We know how many people they've spoken to that day, and we know how many appointments that they have booked that day. Those are the 3 core metrics that you want to follow up on. And that performance plan makes sure that if they're stumbling, if they're having trouble, if there's a specific call that they're struggling with, that they reach out and they get help. And so what we have in our team is we now have a director of operations in our concierge team, and they have a 1-hour call every day where they script, they role play, they overcome objections, they pump the team up and make sure that everybody's on point. And one of the really important things about that, once you start to grow a team around you, is not only is it a great team environment, but it's a competitive environment because it's a team, but they're all competing against each other. And at the end of every single day, they post their scorecard on Slack. So everybody in the company knows how many phone calls they made, how many people they talked to, and how many appointments that they booked. And we celebrate different milestones with the concierge agents within the company as they hit those. So these are the things that you really need to have in place when you're looking at building your team. And these are all of the steps that we've identified that are the most important in making sure that we get somebody really quality on the team.
Amazing. Powerful, powerful stuff. Really appreciate you unpacking this for us. So good. Such a great breakdown here. And I think that the model is clear. I think that, clear kind of what we have to do to hire these people to get them ramped up. A couple questions I have, just because I'm thinking this through, is the tech stack, right? You're going to have these people getting lists and making calls, and you mentioned some chat. Like, what are the tools that are required to make this work?
Yeah, so I highly recommend high level. And that's what we use to implement all of these services. And it has internally within it all of the tools that we need. It has the power dialer, it has all of the campaigns, it has all of the tracking features that we need to keep track of the staff. And it's great because then we're not disjointed across a whole bunch of other platforms. And it runs the live chat that's on the website as well that we're bringing all the leads in as well.
Awesome. So you can run this. If you don't already have high level, you can run this on high level. If you've got high level, you've got the tool, and now we just got to figure out how to actually use it to do this kind of thing, which is pretty awesome. The other question I have is I think about these appointment setters.
Yeah.
You're making 100 to 150 calls a day. You've got these daily rocks and performance rituals. You're managing them too. Are you having a lot of churn? Because it feels like one of those roles that somebody would want to do temporarily and then become a closer or do something else.
Absolutely. And that was definitely an issue that we ran into early on in the process of us figuring out this whole model when we were calling on just the leads, when we were generating the leads and then selling the appointments, and then when we had just the product of, hey, we'll work your leads for you. But what I discovered is that when we worked up our product stack and discovered that we should be calling past clients and we should be calling referral partners, those are warm calls, easy to make, fun, and they generate incredible results. Concierge agents are results-based people. They're very much mathematically based of how many calls they make, how many people they talk to, and how many results they've generated. And if you just give them internet leads, or even worse, like most people in the industry are used to getting a phone book, basically. Like, here's your leads list.
Cold
call, right? And now they have an opportunity to come work for us where they're compensated really well. They're really well taken care of in the environment because everything's structured, everything's organized, and they just step into a system and they're actually able to talk to past clients, referral partners. So it's actually easy calls for them to make. And that's made a huge difference on our retention. And as a matter of fact, over half of our team has been with us since the original round of hiring that we've done. So our retention rate on it is absolutely fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah, and I think some great insights there around North American people that actually do this, right? You're not trying to create a career path for someone. They're trying to find people that already consider themselves appointment setters. And you're plugging them into a better opportunity.
A much better opportunity in that world, yeah.
I love it. Okay, so the other question I have is like, okay, we're gonna run the model, we gotta run this ad, we're gonna send them through these steps. How long does it take to actually hire and train up somebody to do this job?
Yeah, so in the beginning, what I was doing is I was just having them shadow. So I would bring them in, they would shadow somebody, and it would take us a full month to get somebody from the point where we hired to them to the point where we could actually successfully get them on the phone. We have that timeline down now to 14 days.
Okay.
So we can take somebody from hiring them, train them on the software, train them on the scripts, and get them up and running and actually booking appointments in less than 2 weeks. And that can be booking appointments for us. Actually, on our stuff, we get them up in about 9 days where they're actually booking sales appointments for us internally because it's an easier system to manage. But when we're doing our clients, we want to make sure that that is a phenomenal experience for the client. So we take a little bit longer to get them going on that side of things. And that extra time is just script training. It's just them on the scripts so that they're really well done in the scripts. But it takes 2 weeks to get this person hired and get them on the phone generating results.
Okay, so about that amount of time. So in my mind, kind of the struggle, right, is I get it, right? I'm generating leads. If I followed up with the leads and put somebody on my team to do that, it's going to get better results for the clients, right? I feel like I've got to hire the person, I got to go put out the ads, then I've got to go convince my clients that they should pay me to do this for them. My concern would be like, how much out of pocket am I going to be here? How long is it going to take before I see any profitability on this? And am I just opening up myself for a can of worms, right? Like a whole team I got to manage, which may or may not ever net fruit. Right? I mean,
absolutely. So the hiring of the person and being scared to outlay that capital, I understand that because I was in that exact same situation. We were running an agency and it's just an added expense on, is this going to work? And that's why I made the phone calls first, and then I hired my first concierge to make those calls just to prove the model works. I'm hoping that here at video 3, you can see the model works. We just need to get it plugged in. And what we suggest that you do is you hire a concierge to call your existing customers and the previous consultations that you've done and offer this as a service and book you sales consultations. And then when selling that, as soon as you make those sales, that concierge has paid for themselves. So within 30 days, like take the old credit card example that guys will say, like you put this on your credit card, you pay it off in 30 days, it didn't cost you anything, and you get this staff member that is then profitable. And we went through in video number 2 and actually showed you how much money per month you can be generating from a concierge. And that's if you're charging $750 a month. Many verticals, many niches, you can charge a lot more than that, and all of that falls to the profit in the business. So it can take less than 30 days for you to be profitable on a hire. So you never really have to actually come out of pocket in order to put this person in the business.
I love it. Yeah. It kind of takes the pressure off knowing you're going to leverage that internal into your company, and you're going to develop that asset, so to speak, that you can deploy for your clients.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Great answer. So the other question I'm having is, again, I know we talked about this in the previous video, but just the whole idea of the Ascension model, this whole idea that the client's going to pay a certain fee, $750 a month, let's just say, for 200 calls a month. As they need more, how do we meet that demand, and how does that work for our profitability?
Absolutely. And that was one of the reasons why we shortened down our training window to get the concierge up and running, because we ran into a scale issue very quickly as soon as the results started being shared within our industry and people started coming back, and then people wanted to buy more at the same time. So we had this crunch. And so having the model and the system where you can just give the blueprint and hire the people and get them trained right away is super important. But the Ascension model just allows you to staff those people as you need them. So I'll give you an example. So this is actually how this went in our business. And actually here, give me just a second here. So this Ascension model here, when we start with an individual client with an individual result that we're generating for them. So down here, remember, we're calling their leads, we're calling their past customer database, and they're calling their referral partners in order to generate them results, right? So then what we want to do with that individual client is once a month, when we're doing the report of saying, hey, look, here's the clients that we've generated, here's the result that we've generated for you, we use the same script that we use on their past customers on them when we're delivering our monthly report. And we say, hey, is there anybody else in your industry that you know or that you care about that would benefit from something like this? And we generate the referrals from the clients, because the best time to ask for that referral is when you've just shown them exactly how much money you've generated for them in the business. So what that does is that creates you exponential opportunities from each client that you generate. So you're generating referrals here. But here's the thing. Most of you in your agencies are probably delivering your services to people that aren't one-off contractors or one-off people. They're going to be part of a franchise, or they're going to be part of an organization. And a lot of them will have district managers or regional managers or whatever it is. And that's what happened to us. We had a loan officer, and we started calling their past clients, calling their referral partners, and working the online leads. The results were phenomenal. So they told their branch manager. The branch manager came in, became a second client, and ordered the services from it to test it out, got phenomenal results. Well, that district manager then told their national manager, and that national manager then told the CEO of a national mortgage franchise. So what this ended up doing is each step up here, we're getting multiple referrals from each client that we have in the system, and we're working our way into larger and larger sales, because this individual business down here, this guy can take maybe 1,000 calls a month, right? But this branch manager, he's got 5 agents that are working in his office. So he needs 5,000 calls a month. Now this guy, he's a district manager. He's got 10 of these guys underneath him. So he needs, let's say, 15,000 calls a month. And all you're doing, and that's why we packaged our product as $750 for 200 calls. It's not $750 for a concierge agent who just makes a whole bunch of calls, right? It's $750 for 200 calls. And we package it together until you get to this point right here. And this is all about the Ascension model. So in the mortgage industry, what ended up happening, Josh, is we had a CEO who came to us and said, hey, look, we've got over 30,000 phone calls that we need you guys to make. This model down here at $750 for those calls doesn't make sense. What can we work out? And what we ended up doing is we put together a deal where we actually hired the concierge agents in their business. So this CCO came to us and we ended up hiring out 4 concierge agents inside their business, each making calls for them every single month. And we get paid on each of the concierge agents at a higher profit margin than we sell it to our regular clients. And then we get a percentage of every customer that comes in as a result of the service. This deal and this deal and this deal would not have happened if all we were doing was calling the leads that we were generating from the online marketing. All of this opportunity and all of this ascension sits because we're calling the past clients and we're calling the referral partners, and we've turned our digital marketing agency into a business that holds value for this higher ticket, higher value client who stays longer, pays us more money, is more profitable, is happier with the service, and the results that we're generating, we're now able to take a very small percentage of a very large pie. And again, these people are all being managed with the exact same system. So our person who's training our concierge each day, they can run that daily call with 1 concierge agent or 50 concierge agents, and they're all getting the same result and delivering the same exponential opportunity to the clients. And that's the Ascension model that we've experienced.
So good. Love it. Love it. So, I mean, we're solving an immediate need, calling leads. We're positioning ourselves differently in the marketplace. We're creating an answer to the question, these leads aren't any good.
Yep.
Right? We're creating an additional stream of profitable revenue that our clients need. And we've got an Ascension model where we can go from just making $750 per client to thousands, if not tens of thousands per client.
Yep, we currently have a client in our Ascension model at the top model where our revenue from that is $15,000 a month plus the profit share as a result. And we didn't set this up to be like, we're gonna go do an Ascension model. It just naturally happened, and now we've reverse engineered it and turned it into a system. And now we've done this multiple times where we now have 3 of these relationships in the agency. So I would love to know where your mind is at right now. Can you see that Ascension model in your industry working? Can you think of right now 2 people that you could call tomorrow that you've got a good enough relationship with and say, hey, if I was to call your past clients, if I was to call all your referral partners and we were to call all of the online leads or leads that you're generating right now, would that have value for you? Is that something that you could do right now? Because I believe that those opportunities are rampant because we are now solving the greatest pain point that our customers have. And it's been transformational for us.
So good, so powerful. Hopefully you're getting value from this. Lots of great insights here. The next question I have, as I think about this model right here, you mentioned something, and that was eventually you hire an operations manager.
Yeah.
Because logistically this feels like a lot, right?
Yeah.
I hire one and put them in place, maybe. Hire a little team, train that team. You said daily huddles, getting these people consistently doing the work. Mm-hmm. How long does it take before we're to the place where we can hire that operations middle manager to facilitate?
Yeah, so I found that number at 4 concierge agents. Okay. So once we got up to 4 concierge, we needed somebody who was there just making sure that they were doing the daily activities, but more so not getting them to do the work, but giving them the support that they need to do the role properly. Because calling past clients, there would be specific questions that they would have about how they deliver the best service. So that's when we brought in our operations manager for the concierge department at 4. And the crazy thing that I discovered with that is originally I thought it was all going to be one-to-one coaching. Like if you were a concierge and you had a problem, book a meeting with the operations director and they would help you. And very quickly we went to a daily call. And that again was a big breakthrough for us because now you've got group learning. So one concierge who might be brand new asks a question and it reminds the more senior one of, oh yeah, I need to get back to the basics on that. Or a senior person that's been with us for a longer time asks a question and the junior people get to learn from them. So it's this collaborative environment and we only spend an hour a day. And again, like I said, it's scalable. We can train 2 people or we can train 200 people on that call, and they all get the same result, and everybody's using the same system, and it's formulaic now because everybody's getting very, very similar results through the process.
Love it. So maybe 4 concierges before you're to the place where you need that middle manager. I know we talked about the possibilities of kind of making this accessible to the viewers, right? If they want some extra help and they want to get the super star attraction job and the qualified candidate questionnaire. Talk to me about like the possibilities of using your operations manager and gaining access to some of these resources.
Yeah, so as the questions and comments have been coming in, this has been a conversation, and I've been hard at work systemizing all of the stuff that we do in our agency so that we can provide it to you as an agency owner. And what we've done is we've blueprinted all of our systems and processes, and we're going to be putting it together in a program where you can actually walk along, and I will help you implement this system in your digital marketing business, all the way from mapping out your business plan to getting all of the standard operating procedures that we use in our agency, helping you hire your first person. And then what I've decided to do, and thank you for the push on this, is we've decided to take our operations manager and allow you to have your staff managed by my operations director, so that every single day you get access to our inner circle call where my person will be training your people, will be giving them scripting help, how to actually run the system. If they have problems using the Go High Level system, we help support them with that, so that you get the asset of the system, you get the asset of the person, but you don't get the daily hassle of having to train this person, keep them accountable, and we keep them in that competitive environment so they're always looking to generate an even better result for your clients.
Amazing. Great insights here. If that sounds good and you're thinking, you know what? Yeah, I want to do this, but it's quite a leap for me to solve these problems on my own. It's quite a leap for me to figure this out. I want to encourage you to tune in with us where we're going to be unpacking the opportunity to have Chris and his team give you the model, give you the swipes and deploys, and give you the resources that you need to not just think about installing this in your business, but to actually get it done and get it done at a world-class level.
Absolutely. And I just want to say thank you to everybody for your comments, your questions in running through this thing. The thing that I'm most excited about is helping agency owners discover this model, because the retention of the clients is just transformational, because it's new revenue and new profit every single month that you're just stacking onto the bottom line of your company, because you don't have to go win that customer again. And for us, the transformation of the results, and one of the things that I love most about it is knowing that when I go to an industry event and I show up, that I'm going to have people showing up at the booth being like, thank you for this. This is amazing. We're getting results. The product works. It's a phenomenal experience that we're generating. And then being able to make an additional $1 million in 23 months and over $800,000 in profit for a product that's actually generating a better result for our client and customer has been absolutely transformational for us. And if I can share that with you and help guide you along your journey so that you don't have to go through all of the money wasting and the time and effort that I went through, it's going to be a joyful journey that I think we're all going to appreciate at the end of it. So
100%. Super excited. Can't wait to see you guys on that next training and really walk you guys through this. Chris, thank you so much for sharing. If you got value, I just want you guys in the comments to put value from what he shared over these last 3 videos on the opportunity, on how to set it up, and now ultimately on the actual hiring plan and what to put in place. If you have follow-up questions or thoughts, post it in the comments. If you know another agency owner that needs to see this, that needs to be thinking on this plane so they can deliver better results, retain at a higher level, create a new revenue stream, and differentiate themselves from all of the other agencies, share it. Like, share this in the groups that you're in. Share this with the individuals that you know that could benefit from it. And we'll see you on the next training.